on, touch two people in your area and tell them there's no God like our God. Come on, I need audience participation. I said touch somebody in your area and tell them there is no God like our God. Come on, touch somebody that look like they got a fresh perm and tell them there is no, hey, hey, hey. I said touch somebody that look like they got a fresh perm and tell them there's no God like our God. There's no God like our God. Oh, somebody shout, he's a good God, he's a good God. I said open your mouth and shout, he's a good God, he's a good God. He's excellent.
He is a good God.
I wish I had about 10 people in here that can testify he's excellent. I dare you to just shake somebody's hand like a salt shaker and tell them that can't nobody do me like him. Tell them. I said touch somebody. Come on, don't be hard-headed. Touch somebody and tell them can't nobody do me like him. He's excellent.
Nobody like him. Nobody.
Let me hurriedly say, I'm just glad to be here. Anybody here glad to just be here? I say, anybody just glad to be here? All right, let's get the preliminaries out the way. Y'all gonna look me up and down real good. I know y'all don't know me, I don't know you, and I know you looking at me. So after we get the staring out the way, then we can go on and have church. Amen. Amen. I'm grateful to be here. Hey, can y'all help me honor your pastor in the person of Pastor Dimes? Let's thank God for him. And to the elect lady of this house, I am so grateful for this opportunity to stand. I left my church. Y'all excuse me for being late. I left my church to come here, and I'm going to preach real quick, walk right back out the door, and get back to my church. Amen. I'm grateful. Thank God, amen, for my brother Kevin Martin for allowing me to come. Y'all celebrate him today. I brought one of my deacons who also serves as the head of our security, Deacon Leon. Let's thank God for him. Now, I don't say that like I get in trouble that I need security. Amen. That's just what they call themselves, so I call them what they call themselves. Amen. Amen. Trust me, I stay far from trouble. Amen. Anybody know me, I stay to myself. Amen. You stay to yourself, you stay out of trouble. Amen. Amen. Glad to see all of you here. Let me get straight into my assignment lest I bore y'all. 1 Samuel chapter 17 is where we're going to find our assignment. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verses 36 and verses 37. Amen.
Amen.
Now, can I know how free I am in here? Amen. All right. I like to ask permission. Amen. Amen. You don't want to get to doing stuff in other folks' church and then they don't invite you back. Amen. Amen. So lest I get in trouble, y'all told me to be free. All right. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 36. Verse 37. It is my custom to stand for the reading of the word. Can y'all do that for me since I had a microphone? You kind of have to do what I say. Amen. Amen. 1 Samuel chapter 17. All right, cool. It's on the screen. I read from the New American Standard Version of the Bible. If that's all right with y'all. It's going to be a little different from the common English Bible. Oh, I like that. Amen. All right. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear. And this uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, since he has taunted the armies of the living God. And David said, the Lord, who delivered me from the paw of the lion and from the paw of the bear. Somebody shout, he will deliver me. He will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said to David, go, and may the Lord be with you. I want to preach faith for the challenge. Faith for the challenge. You may be seated in the presence of our God. Lord, help us to preach this word in Jesus' name. Brothers and sisters, we all have things in our lives that serve as an enemy. And in most cases, brothers and sisters, that enemy seems at times to be insurmountable. It seems as though some of the enemies that we face just look like they are not going to be overcome. My brothers and sisters, there needs to be a revelation of the fact that an enemy can be conquered. I thought about 10 of y'all would thank God right about that, because if you're going through any type of crisis and you're dealing with any type of enemy, it's good news to know that there is nothing that can defeat you. Now, this is not going to be for everybody, but it's going to be for some people that's really been under attack, and you understand that the attacks that I'm under are not there to make me bitter, but they're there to make me better. You can testify that there is not an enemy that can defeat you. If I had time, I would push this envelope to tell you sometimes you got to let the enemy know that even on my worst day, I'm still anointed. I had a real church right about that. I said, on my worst day, I'm still anointed. I'm talking about hit the rock bottom and I'm still anointed. And here's the thing that the devil don't like about some of us. What he cannot stand about some of us is that we jacked up, but God still uses us. Hallelujah. I know you got some folk that show up every week, know your business, and the Lord made it so. Sometimes the Lord will put you on Front Street. I see, that's why I asked, can I be free? Because now I need to prophesy right quick to 10 of y'all to tell you, stop deleting everybody off your Facebook page. You need a witness when God elevates you. Because some of the same people that's been talking noise about you behind your back, don't delete them. You need people to see you when God takes you up. I need you to help me testify and touch somebody and tell them there's not an enemy that cannot be defeated, but sometimes God will put you on display. Preach, man. I said sometimes God will put you on display. And see, that's why you got to understand the necessity of an enemy. Sometimes we get rid of enemies too fast. You don't kick everybody out the circle. Okay, since y'all sitting on me, let me see if I can show you. I read the Bible. You do remember Judas was one of the 12. And Jesus knew who Judas was, but he never dismissed Judas from the fellowship. Why? Because some people are going to help you get to your next level. I said I wish I had a church. Some people are designed to push you to the next level. But here's what you got to shout about today, and that is, it doesn't matter how big the enemy is. Even when you having a bad day, there's not an enemy that can defeat you. I wish I had a prophetic house and not a pathetic one. Will you do me a favor and high five somebody and tell them your enemies might be big, but tell them God is bigger than your enemy. Watch your voice, Joker. I said your enemy might be big, but God is bigger than your enemy. You don't believe me? Why do you think Isaiah picks up on this premise and says no weapon formed against you will be able to prosper? Watch what he says. And every tongue, talk Negro, that rises up against me in judgment, thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servant of the Lord, and his righteousness is of me, says God. I know you need help with the text, so let me modernize or contemporize or Kareem Jacksonize the text to tell you that there is not a person that can put their mouth on you that can stop God from elevating you. Sometimes the fact that they're talking about you is just free advertisement. It's just God using them to get your name in front. But y'all don't hear me talking, do you? I said it's God using people to put your name in front, and God's getting ready to elevate some of y'all right in the presence of people that can't stand. He prepares a table before me in the presence of, look at somebody and tell them I might have enemies, but my enemies can't beat my God. I wish I had 10 people that can help me preach and testify. You got to stop complaining about your enemies and let your enemies know I serve a God who's bigger, who's better, who's better than anything you can throw at me. So tell somebody, throw your best shot. I done been to hell and back, and that's why I'm still, that's not my sermon, y'all. I've been to hell and back, but I'm still standing because my God is bigger than my enemy. not an enemy that cannot be conquered. And you have to understand, victory and triumph are promised to the person who knows how to trust God in the middle of calamity. Sometimes I go places to preach, and I'll tell you this quick story. I've been places to preach, and I'm quiet in certain environments, and so I walked in one pastor's office and sat down. I spoke to everybody, but I didn't tell everybody who I was because they were talking, so I sat down. Right. One older gentleman stood up and said, "Hey man, it's late. We need to start service. Your preacher ain't got there." I said, "Man, the preacher been here." "Who?" "Him right down the corner." That man looked at me and said, "That's Kareem Jackson." I said, "Nice to meet you." Well, in his mind, you know, I look like a little boy. Not knowing next Sunday I'll be 38 years old. You know, thank God for it. I said that to make this point. Don't miss it. Sometimes you can look at a book. And sometimes we have the uncanny proclivity to judge the book based on the way it looks on the outside. But what you don't understand is that my trust for God has nothing to do with my age. It has everything to do with my experience. And some of y'all can testify you've been through some stuff that should have killed you. And in fact, if we be honest, there were some people that died in what you overcame. You ought to thank God that your faith in Him means something. And I'm talking about more than just a house and a car. I'm talking more than just cash, clothes, and cars. I'm talking about a relationship with God by faith, that even though you don't know what God is doing, you do know God is up to something. So we have to learn, brothers and sisters, how to trust God, and we got to know how to call on God for help, because there can be no victory or power in our own strength. If I had time, and I don't, but if I had time, I'd run you over to Ephesians, where Paul says you got to be strong in the Lord, watch this, and in the power of His. See, y'all read the Bible right, do you? Which suggests that I have no real strength in and of myself. The strength that I have is only because of God. Let me see if I can sing you a couple of songs and see if you'll help me. If I had Lee Williams here, Lee Williams would say, "I learned how to lean and depend on G." If I had a good old saint that was raised in the traditional Baptist church like me, we'd sing, "I will trust in the Lord until I die." Anybody here can testify, I learned how to trust in God, that some of my experiences taught me that I didn't have the strength that I thought I had until the Lord allowed certain circumstances to come on me that pushed me to the place where I had to say, "Well, Lord, I've run out of all my resources, and all I have now is you." Folk left, friends left, boo left, husband left, wife left, kids tripping, friends on Facebook delete me. I don't know what to do. But what I have learned is whenever I'm at a place where I seem isolated, I'm in the right spot, because Paul says that His strength is made perfect in my weakness. Sometimes God will show my weakness to show His strength. I just said something, the whole church missed it. I'm going back up the street. I said sometimes God will put you in a vulnerable place so that He can show you you're not as strong as you thought you were. But if you learn how to fall back on me, I'll show you how to bounce back out of whatever you fell in. I wish y'all would talk to me. Look at somebody and tell them He knows how to catch you before you fall. Lord, I felt like running right there. I said, look at somebody that look like they need a little shea butter, and tell them He knows how to catch you right before you fall. And that's the kind of faith I have in Him, that when I can't see my way, I know He's still gonna make a way. And that's what I love about word make in the Bible, it is the Greek translation that literally suggests that God knows how to create what you don't see. God, let me see if I can help you. Anybody here ever needed a job? You couldn't find a job, and you got a job at a company that created a job just so you can have one. That's the kind of God I serve. He creates a way, and that's why they said he'll make a way. I don't know. I wish I had help. And that's the kind. Somebody said that's the kind of God that I serve. I got to get in the text. David is facing a giant challenge.
Wow.
And he teaches us this great lesson about what it means to trust in God. Brothers and sisters, this is a clear picture of believers confronting an aggressive and a defiant and a frightening enemy, because this is only one of many conflicts between the Philistines and Israel as we read Saul's reign, because the Philistines were bitter enemies of the people of God. And so when we read this passage, the Philistines have launched an invasion against Israel, and the Philistines invaded Israel at Succoth, which was located about 15 miles west of Bethlehem in the territory of Judah. According to the historicity of the text, they actually pitched their tent at Ephes Dammim, and which was between Succoth and Azekah. And so the evasion was immediately now countered by Saul, but the issue is now we've got the battle lines drawn. We've got enemies facing each other on opposite sides of the valley. You've got thousands of soldiers, battalion after battalion, standing in the middle of the battle lines. But all of a sudden, this over 9 feet tall giant of a man named Goliath steps forth. Now, you got to understand history, because this man, over 9 feet tall, his armor consists of a bronze helmet, a coat of scale armor that weighed 125 pounds, and he had on a pair of bronze leggings. His weapons were a bronze spear with a 15-pound tip, a sword, and a javelin. According to the historicity of the text, his armor bearer had to carry his shield, and he walked before him 9 feet tall, wearing clothes that wore 125 pounds. He's got weapons that most of us can't carry by ourselves. He steps forth and says, challenge. Challenge. No, that was Bill Cosby when they did the little tap dance, and he said, challenge. He steps forth, challenges them, and here is the problem. He is mocking, he is defying, he is ridiculing the Israelites. He says to them, y'all sent out a representative, fight against me, and if he wins, we'll serve y'all. And when I win, y'all gonna serve us. Now the problem is, King Saul is the best match for Goliath. But Saul doesn't have, be good in a church, testicular fortitude. That was about as clean as I can get. Be a jelly back. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Let me see if I can be 21st century. He's scared. But what he does for us, though, he reveals to us, this story reveals to us, first of all, the nature of an enemy.
Yes, sir.
Because enemies that overwhelm us can be personal, or they can be internal. They can be external, or they can be internal. Somebody say external or internal. Now here's the truth. Some of the greatest wars that we fight are not external. The greatest battle that I face is the battle from within. The greatest enemy is the inner me. It is the me that I struggle with. Sometimes I've got to overcome low self-esteem. I've got to overcome fear. Got to overcome doubt. I got to overcome an identity crisis. I got to overcome my past. I got to build confidence in the call of God. David comes on the scene as a shepherd boy. That's Jesse's baby boy. He's a nobody. He's in the field singing love songs to the Lord. But notice that David's duties were, he was now assigned not only to be a shepherd, but he went back and forth working from Saul to tending sheep. He understands what it means to work. But here's the problem. According to the text, he apparently has not yet reached 20 years of age. Because at 20 in that day, you can enlist in the army. So if he wasn't in the army, he wasn't 20. He was still a teenager. But not only does it reveal the nature of the enemy, but it also reveals to us the need to be courageous, because what we see in David is a righteous anger because of the defiance of God. David wasn't concerned with the army as much as he was concerned with the fact that this man Goliath is talking down about our God. Can I tell you what bothers me about some of you religious people? It bothers me that people can sit up in your face and say there is no hell, and that don't aggravate you. You can sit around people that's got all type of doctrines from devils that they heard from folk on TV who don't even read the Bible, and they say, oh, that sure do sound right. Who cares how it sounds? Just because it sounds right don't mean that it is right. Okay, y'all didn't like that either, did you? Look at somebody, tell them you got to learn how to read the Bible for yourself. Tell them. David is angry because he's ridiculing our God. For 40 long, frightful days and nights, Goliath defied the army of Israel. Every morning and evening during the 40 days, Goliath would step forth into the valley below, mocking and ridiculing and taunting the Israelites. And according to the text, they were gripped by fear. Saul and his troops were shaken and terrorized. They became paralyzed. And no man, not even Saul, who stood a head taller than every other Israelite, dared to step forth to engage Goliath in hand-to-hand combat. Somebody shout, he was scared. So a standoff between the two armies had developed. David's father charged him to take supplies to the front line and to check on the welfare of his brothers. But note that the supplies were also for the commander of the unit, because soldiers of that day usually lived off the land they occupied, or else supplies and rations were sent by family members. David gets a divine setup to go down to the... You didn't see that in the Bible, did you? I said he got a divine set. Do you think it was happenstance or it was a coinky-dink that he was now called to go take supplies to the front so that he can lay eyes on this over 9-foot tall booger who was talking about our God? You don't hear me. And when he got there, notice what happens. Goliath is talking junk. Saul is scared. Saul is so scared that he offers a reward for anybody who killed Goliath. He said, I'll give you great wealth, I'll give you a tax exemption, and I'll give you my daughter in marriage. I've been like, what that talking? Notice a deep concern and righteous anger was aroused in David when he heard the insults by Goliath. It disturbed him, and all of a sudden he got a surge of courage and was aroused within his heart. And so he asked the men standing by him, what would be done for the man who kills this Philistine? In anger he asked, who is this uncircumcised pagan Philistine? Who does he think he is, defying the armies of our God? So in response to David's question, the soldier by him spells out the reward that Saul had promised to give the soldier who would kill Goliath. Somebody shout courage, courage, courage. Courage, brothers and sisters, is desperately needed as we face the enemies of our lives. Because you got to realize shrinking back and running from an enemy will only lead to humiliation, defeat, destruction, and even death. And all of us have got to face an enemy. All of us face trials and temptations. All of us face unfavorable circumstances and difficult problems. All of us deal with persecution and hatred. All of us deal with hardship and misfortune. All of us deal with criminals and terrorists. All of us deal with mockers and slanders. But what you got to understand is running is not an option. I'm sorry, I was not anointed to be Forrest Gump. I ain't running. And what I have discovered is sometimes you don't even have to fight the battle. You just got to show up on the battlefield. Preach Kareem and Boo. I said sometimes you don't even have to fight the battle, but you do have to show up on the battlefield. And you got to understand that there's got to be a stirring up of a spirit of courage and boldness as we face our trials and our situations. You must be aroused with a strong determination to conquer and triumph over the enemies that are trying to overcome you. Somebody shout, you need some courage. A bold, courageous spirit that depends on the Lord is what will conquer every enemy and cause the believer to live a victorious life. I'm on my way out the door. Let me give you this last thing I see in the text. I see not only does it show the nature of an enemy, not only does it reveal to us the necessity of courage, but then it shows us why we need faith. Somebody shout, I need some faith. Need some. There was David's utter trust in God and in his power to deliver, because notice David's courage and outrage against Goliath's blasphemies were reported to Saul. The text says that Saul wants to know who is this David who says he'll come up against Goliath. So he calls in for David. Bring him here. David comes in. I can imagine Saul did David like I just showed you the other preacher did me. Yeah, he said, son, you do know he's 9 feet tall. You do know that he's bigger than you. You do know that there is no way you're going to defeat him. And he has military might. David understands something that most of us don't. Because when you read the text, you will discover that after Saul said, there's no way you're going to be able to defeat him. There's no way you can beat him because the odds are against you. David put his hand on his hip, let his backbone slip, and said, I like those odds. Because what I discovered is sometimes when the odds look like they are against me, it makes my mind run back to what God has already done for me. You don't read the Bible, do you? Let me see if I can help you. David said, I'm sorry, King, but don't judge me by how I look, because you don't know my resume. I need y'all to help me preach, because sometimes people come to church and you think that they shouting and dancing so that you can look at them, but they don't care nothing about you looking at them. The reason why I'm praising God the way I'm praising him is because I got a resume with him, and my resume says that he's done so much for me that I cannot tell it all. You didn't see that in the Bible? Let me see if I can help you. David says, hey, King Saul, with all due respect, sir, can I tell you where I came from? I am a shepherd, which means I am assigned to 10 sheep, which means that sheep have enemies. And sometimes up against one of my sheep. One time a bear came up against one of my sheep. All I had in my hand was a billy club. And I ran after that lion, and I ran after that bear. And when they rose up against me, I beat the ham and cheek. Y'all don't hear me. I beat that enemy. Wait a minute, y'all. We're talking about Goliath, who is over 9 feet tall. He's wearing garments that's 125 pounds. He's got an armor bearer carrying a spear. He's got a spear that can't nobody else carry. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. Now you telling me that your resume is that you whooped a lion and a bear with a billy club. How you gonna beat this guy? He said, King, all I'm trying to tell you is I've won battles with lesser odds. Lord, I almost ran. Which means when you don't know where I came from and you don't know what I've been through, and watch this, you don't know the victories God has already put in my hand. This tall booger has nothing on the God that I serve. I need y'all to help me preach and touch somebody and tell them I've won battles with the odds stacked against me. Tell them don't limit me now, because whenever you got God on your side, it don't matter the odds against you. Greater is he that is in me than he that's preached joker that's in the world. I need y'all to help me. I'm gonna go. But touch one more neighbor and tell them you might have big enemies, but tell them that's why God's gonna give you a big victory. I wish y'all would help me preach. I said you got big enemies, but God's getting ready to give you a big victory. Somebody shout big, 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 big. You didn't shout it. Open your mouth in this Presbyterian church and shout big, big, big. I'm getting ready to get a big victory. With God's help, fighting this battle, it's gonna be nothing for me. David says, I'm going out to fight. Saul said, all right, man, you think you that bad? You think you can handle it? Here's the last thing I got to go. He says, well, I tell you what, why don't you put on my armor? You going out to fight, you don't know nothing about fighting, you don't know nothing about battle, you don't know anything about formal training, but put on my armor. You're finna miss this word. Watch this. He says, put on my armor, because you, David, trust in God, but I trust my clothes. I got to go. David, you trusting in a God that ain't nobody seen but you. You know him. You singing love songs to him. You got a relationship with him. But Saul says, I know military might. I know how to trust in my clothes. So David says, well, okay, let me try it on. He put on his armor. And David says, wait a minute, King. I don't have no mobility. I can't move in this. Can I pause and give you a word from the Lord? Be careful whose armor you put on. Because everybody's equipment can't work for you. Some of the stuff that you did to get out of what you was in might not work for me. But can I prophesy to y'all? Use what you got. I wish I had help. Let's go further. What you have is enough to win whatever battle you have to face. I said what you have, I got to roll, is enough. David says, I can't wear this. I got to use what works. Shake somebody's hand and tell them use what's in your arsenal. Oh, you didn't hear what I said. I said grab somebody's hand, look them in the face, and tell them, neighbor, use your arsenal. Tell them you got enough in you to win the battle. And can I tell some of y'all, your greatest weapon is not a gun or a knife, but your greatest weapon is in your mouth. Death and life, yes, is in the power of the tongue. I dare somebody in the room today to open your mouth and praise God and confuse the devil, because some of us got enemies that's looking for us to go down. But look at somebody and tell them wish I had a church right here. I said, I'm gonna win like I always win. I'm gonna win by faith in my God. The Bible says that he goes out, grabs his slingshot, gets 5 smooth stones, and he walks out on the battlefield with a little swagger about it. And the Bible says when Goliath looks at him, he said, I can't believe this the best y'all got. Y'all sending me a dog. But David jumps back and says, you might call me a dog, but in a few minutes I'm gonna take this foot. I feel like the Rock on wrestling. I'm gonna turn it sideways and I'm gonna stick it up. I can't say that. I'm gonna look at somebody and tell them, neighbor, your faith in God is getting ready to give you victory. You've been through hell. You've been through struggles. Y'all not shaking nobody. I said, shake somebody and look them in their face and say, hey neighbor, come on, get a tune in your voice. Help your boy preach 1 minute. Grab you a neighbor and say, hey neighbor, I don't know what you've been going through, but say neighbor, the God we serve is getting ready to give us victory. Y'all look at one neighbor and say, hey neighbor, the devil is defeated. Tell him God is exalted. Oh, we have the victory. Lean on your neighbor. I'm getting out y'all hair. I said lean on your neighbor and say, neighbor, I don't know about you, but I got a feeling everything. The Bible says, David says to Goliath, I'm getting ready to cut your head off. Y'all didn't hear me. David said, you might be bigger than me, you might be better than me, but you have something. I have something that you don't have, and I got invisible angels all around me. Y'all help me have church with me. All night, all day, the angel are watching over me. The Bible says the lion runs out after David. David grabs a slingshot and 1 stone and pulls it back and lets it ride. And the Bible says it hit him square in the head and he falls to the ground. Let me back up 1 minute. David prophesies the outcome of the battle before he drew his weapon. Y'all don't read the Bible, do you? Grab you a neighbor for the second to the last time and say, neighbor, I don't know what your enemy looks like, but say, neighbor, before you leave here today, you need to open your mouth and prophesy the outcome before you even fight. Somebody open your mouth and shout, we win in the end. We win in the end. I got to get out of here. May the Lord bless you real good. But is there anybody here that can shout today because you got faith in your God? If you got faith, do me a favor. Don't wait till the battle is over, but shout, 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 shout now. Y'all not
Easy. Anybody here know you already won? Throw your hand way up, open your mouth, and shout, I've already won.
I wish I had 10 people in the room that would just grab you a neighbor for the last time. Wrap your arms around you. I said wrap your arms around somebody. I'm getting out y'all half for real. I said wrap your arms around somebody. Squeeze them real tight. Pull them real close. And say, neighbor, I don't know what you're going through. Tell them, neighbor, I don't know the tears you cry, but tell them, neighbor, I got a word for your giant. We've been made into for one night, but joy, I said joy is on the way. I got one more word for your giant. It does not matter what it looks like. God is bigger than your problem. Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all you can ask or think, according to the power. Somebody shout, I got power. I got power. I got power. I wish I had a praiser in the room. I said, I wish I had a praiser in the room. So just give God a dance in advance. I tell you, hey, I tell you to dance. I tell you to dance in advance. I tell you to give him glory. I tell you to give him honor. I tell you to give him praise. I tell you to bless him. I said, I tell you, hey. Open your mouth and declare, this is my turnaround season. Come on, everybody, lift your hands and declare it. This is my turnaround season. Hey.
Now, as an act of faith, turn around one time and declare it's turning, 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 it's turning. Late in the midnight hour, the Lord will turn it around. Somebody shout, it's turning.
It's my turnaround season. It's my turnaround season.